everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about the number one threat to your productivity. The simple answer up front is poor decision making. And in this video, we're going to dissect how to make better decisions so that you can get the right things done and be more effective in life. If you're new here, my name is Jared, and I'm a high school teacher turned leadership coach. And my mission here is to help unlock your potential so you can be more efficient and effective in life. Feel free to skip ahead using the chapter markers that I've included below. Before we dive into the practical, it's really helpful to ask, why does all of this matter? I have made this video so that you can get away from having an endless to-do list and then move towards knowing how to quickly decide what is important and what isn't important, in order that you can say goodbye to guilt, stress, distractions, and wasteful activities, and say yes to the most important people and tasks in your life. And the hope is that we would be able to do this in this video with great ease and with minimal effort from you. With all that said, let's dive in. The first question we need to look at is, how is poor decision making a problem? Poor decision making is a huge problem because oftentimes we end up saying yes to things, but in saying yes to everything, we neglect the most important things. Or another possibility is that we do say yes to the right things, but we don't have enough time to execute them. And with poor decision making, sometimes we say no to the right things. In the midst of all of the things that come into our lives for us to get done, either at work or at home or in relationships, oftentimes we can spend our time on things that are distracting, time wasters, or always fighting fires that never really get solved. And when we don't have a good decision framework, what ends up happening is we end up feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, frustrated, guilty, fatigued, and eventually burnt out and ineffective. When we fix this threat to your productivity, poor decision making, you're able to get a handle on what is coming your way and what is most important, and then execute on that. Now we're going to turn our attention to answering the question, what is the Eisenhower Matrix and how does it impact our decisions? The Eisenhower Matrix is essentially a framework that helps you understand all the decisions coming into your life and then categorizing them into different areas so that you can decide where each of these inputs or potential to-do lists or tasks or goals fit into the categories. There are 4 areas to this matrix. The first area are areas that are important and urgent. It's helpful to think of these kind of like fires. These are crises, unforeseen meetings, last-minute deadlines that you were not aware about, or true health emergencies like a kid or a family member getting hospitalized. And those are things that you need to deal with right now. The next area is called the quadrant 3. And these are things that are not important, although they may feel important, but they are urgent. These are things that are small and help you feel like you're getting stuff done, but you're not actually doing anything. For example, endlessly checking your email or social media feeds, doing activities that don't necessarily move the needle forward, although they do check a box off. These are things that are helpful to a certain point, but after a while or doing them in excess are extremely unhelpful. The next section is called quadrant 4. Essentially, these are things that are not urgent and not important. If you imagine your day having fought fires or done pointless little tasks all day, at the end of the work day, you may not want to engage in meaningful activities and relationship building. Instead, you'll end up binging on whatever television show or eating things in excess that you just shouldn't be eating. Quadrant 2 is the most important section, and it is the section that is both not urgent but very important. These are things like relationship building, proactive planning, learning, renewal. For some people, all of these activities look different depending on your season and context of life. However, activities in this quadrant 2 area are activities that are high leverage and allow you to move the needle forward without a massive and urgent deadline. Each of these areas has goals. So for the fires, that's quadrant number 1, your goal in this area is to manage these. For quadrant number 3, these are areas that are not important but urgent. Your goal is to minimize these. For quadrant 4, that which is not important and not urgent, your goal is to eliminate these. And for quadrant 2, the things that are very important and not urgent, your goal is to maximize these. It'd be helpful for you to pause the video at this point and really ponder, what would life be like if I was able to properly manage my fires, minimize my distractions, eliminate the things that are wasteful, and maximize the things that bring the most amount of return on my time, either relationally or professionally or in any area that matters to you. The next area we're going to be taking a look at is how do we apply the Eisenhower Matrix into our life? The simplest answer to this question is we need to build a habit of pausing, getting more details, and then deciding before we just say yes to whatever idea or input comes our way. A simple example of this is that if you're going about your day and a colleague or a supervisor comes in and says, hey, I need you to get this done right now, please. Rather than immediately saying yes or no, pause, get some more details about the request. You might say something like, when does this really need to be done by? Is there anything else that I should take off of my plate right now in order to get this done? How important is this? Given all the other priorities we have, where does this fit in? Can you help me understand how this is a fire and everything else needs to be dropped right now? There are many examples we can go over here, but the critical point for you is to realize that you need to pause, get more details, and then decide rather than automatically saying yes or even automatically saying no. This small habit is going to take a little bit of time to build into your life, but if you make a commitment to doing this and starting to practice this every day for the next week or so, at least once a day, it is going to change your framework and you will begin to categorize and think in terms of the Eisenhower Matrix when you say yes or when you say no to a specific request. The next question I want us to look at is, what if this is still hard? At this point in the video, we've taken a look at the Eisenhower Matrix. We've learned about a new possible habit, but the reality is this still might be hard on a organizational or personal level. I want to encourage you to ask yourself some critical questions if you find this to be particularly difficult. What kind of work environment are you in? Is it cutthroat? Is there an underlying expectation that everyone always says yes? Is this the kind of environment you want to be in long term? What are the potential repercussions of applying the Eisenhower Matrix and this new habit of pausing for your professional life? The other area that's helpful to consider is just being introspective about your own personal upbringing and habits. Are you a people pleaser by nature? Did your upbringing and family encourage you to say no? Or was there an underlying expectation of always saying yes? The aim of this video was to look at the number one threat to your productivity. We've looked at this threat in 4 different areas. 1, how is poor decision making the problem? 2, what is the Eisenhower Matrix and how does it help you make better decisions? 3, how do I simply apply the Eisenhower Matrix to my daily life? And then area number 4, what if this is still hard? I highly encourage you to go do something with this information in order to help transform your daily life. The goal of this channel is to help you become more effective at work and at home. And we do this by dissecting topics around leadership, relationships, and productivity. So please get subscribed to join the mission of this channel. If this video interested you, then go ahead and check out this video where I talk about the 3 critical reasons why time management fails.